From our Scottsdale studios, this is Retirement News Online. So many retirees are surprised to find that taxes can be one of their biggest expenses in retirement. With required minimum distributions, Social Security taxation, rising Medicare premiums, and changing tax laws can create what's often called a retirement tax bomb, an unexpected hit that can shrink your nest egg faster than you even planned. And joining me to talk about taxes in general, everything we love, Dax Weindorf with Lighthouse Financial in Rogers, Arkansas. So I think, Dax, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
You bet.
Tax is a big topic right now at the time of this, where the big beautiful bill is in play and all this other stuff. But why do you think many retirees are surprised when they get into retirement, for example, that they're in a higher tax bracket than they thought they were going to? They've been told they were going to be in a lower tax bracket.
Right, and I think that's again what the machine that's out there leads them to believe. And what they find is when they reach retirement, and really up to retirement, although it's kind of silent, tax is the biggest expense they're going to have, but yet as a whole, advisors and firms don't talk about it. Now why is that? Most firms, most advisors are under what's called a broker-dealer model, and the powers that be see talking tax as a risk, and they tell their advisors, well, you can't do that. You leave that to the CPAs. And the CPAs are great, but the reality is the clients don't know what questions to ask the CPA. If they did, they would get the advice, but it's not going to be relatively available to them. And the time to start thinking about tax is not when we retire. It's a long process that we have built systems for, and that's one of our big differentiators. Is we start talking about tax with clients day one, because ultimately it is going to be their largest expense they have in their saving in their retirement years. It's not going to be, an average advisor cost 1% to 2%, or an average fund manager may have a half a point to a point to a point and a half for their money management cost. But yet taxes are 30% or 20%. It's a much bigger number.
Right.
So they find when they, all the money they saved on taxes, they don't realize what they did with it, and then they start to withdraw. They're out of deductions. The house is paid for. Their financial house debt-wise is in order, and so they are really at the mercy of whatever our ordinary income tax rates are.
Right.
And I'm still searching, but I haven't found anyone that thinks we're going to taxes are going to be going down.
Right.
They're going to stay
They've been
the
down
same
for
or
a
go
while.
up. Yeah.
This is kind of a tax Goldilocks zone right now. Well, your average clients, I think, I heard it is in the range in their early 40s, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That probably means you're dealing with a lot of business owners, probably too.
We do. That's one of our actual target markets.
And then taxation is something that a lot of business owners aren't really thinking as much about as they should. And going back to your point, CPAs aren't really tax planners; they're historians, right? They got to work with somebody like you, don't they?
They really do, to maximize that value to the client. And so another way we're different is, especially with our business owner clients, or our clients that are saving at a high rate or that are highly compensated today, right? Humans by nature, we don't like pain. Okay, well, taxes are painful. Most of the business owners' experience is, hey, all my efforts and energy and brain power are to run my business, and they don't really realize that they need a team of professionals around them that are collaborating to help guide them through tax law changes. One of the most recent tools that we've implemented, everybody's talking about AI, and AI is not going to replace your job. It's not going to replace my job, but it might replace people that are not embracing it.
Right.
And so we've sourced a very powerful AI tax tool that allows us to really speak at a high level when clients have questions and drill down, and then we go to their CPA with IRS-backed information on what that client's asking us about, and we look to go provide that solution. Most business owners experience, if they don't have that financial professional with the tax lens being looked at, they're getting surprised at the end of the year. They're getting the call at the last minute that they need to write a big check.
Right.
And nobody likes things that are unexpected or unexplained. Hey, I'm fine paying some more tax if I know it's coming. And if we have time to plan, then our systems and processes and tools, we can work with business owners to actually reduce that tax, because we understand the tax laws and the rules. It's not so much about, hey, what's the market doing today? We're going to get the returns for our clients that they need. We're not worried about that. But if we're not playing, if we don't know the rule book, how are we going to win the game?
Right.
And so we put a big emphasis on that.
Well, would you agree? I think so. I think for the average person, in some level, they're going to be relying at least significantly on Social Security as part of their income and retirement, depending on how well off they are. Yeah. Would you agree that if, for that kind of person, maximizing Social Security benefits is not about necessarily trying to get an extra $500 a month in benefits, it's actually reducing the taxes that are associated with that is probably more important? Would that be accurate to you?
It is, and Scott, I'm glad you asked that question. My mom, most of her income is from Social Security. Right. And with the average age of our client not being Social Security age, but their parents are. And so everything that we are doing as a firm at Lighthouse, from tax planning to risk mitigation, tax loss harvesting, Social Security planning, has organically evolved from client needs. And so one thing that we recently have implemented is we have a Social Security advisor on our team, and she works for the benefit of our clients. And she spent 40 years within the Social Security Administration, and her job was to get people every dollar that they deserve. And so if you think about the IRS tax code is this right hard thing to decipher, can you imagine what Social Security looks like? All the different rules, and when should I take, and my husband passed away, can I draw from his, or do I need to get remarried, or survivor benefits? And so every month we get a report from Janie, and she details money she found for our clients that they didn't know that was owed to them. Well, just like the CPA, right? Social Security's not calling them and saying, hey, we owe you some money.
Yeah, they can't.
So they use Janie to maximize those benefits, and then we incorporate them into their financial plans. The goal is to get as many of those dollars back from Social Security as possible.
Right.
And clients have never thought about it like that. So we have a system for it.
And finally, Ego, what do you think is, from a tax perspective, what's the biggest misconception clients or prospects have about taxation?
Well, I'm going to go back to our first, your first statement, right? I'm going to retire in a lower tax bracket. Well, are you? Right? So most of our clients, they want to sustain and continue lifestyle based off of their highest earning years. And the misconception is, it's not really a misconception, it's just they didn't think about it. And so the first thing we start talking about with clients is, what do you want those years to look like? How much income do you want? And let us show you how we can significantly reduce the taxes that you're going to pay. Right. And that's going to allow them to, a lot of our clients are very charitable minded. It's going to allow them to give more. It's going to allow them to take more trips with their families and make memories, and be able to do more than they would have otherwise. So it's very impactful, the work that we do for clients. And whether it's a business owner or a corporate executive, clients come to us and they're, hey, I'm going to sell my building or this business we own, and then we talk to them about how much tax they're going to pay and things that we can start doing to mitigate that. And he goes, oh, I thought we were just, y'all had somebody introduce me the other day as a stockbroker. And I said, well, I guess technically on paper that, right, I could fit in that category. That, yeah. But right, I joke with the team and I tell them we're tax assassins. Right. But we help our clients hit their goals, and we develop lifelong relationships with them. And it's a trust that we don't take lightly, and we really want to impact as many lives as possible, to help in that area.
You are wealth defenders. That's what you are.
Defenders of wealth. I love that.
Defenders of
wealth.
I love
that. I'm gonna borrow it, and I'll give you credit for it too.
Steal it. Just take it.
I like it.
I stole it. So. His name is Dax Weindorf. By the way, Dax, one of the coolest names out there. I wish I was named Dax. And he's got a son named Knox. X's are very popular right now. And he works with Lighthouse Financial in Rogers, Arkansas. And this is Retirement News Online. We'll see you next time.